Hi, this is the training video for our runners. These are the people who are inputting data, inputting who has voted at the polls, so that our outside scrutineers can do their jobs more efficiently. So without further ado, let's start it up. Okay. So our runners, before your shift, of course, make sure you have a mask. You have to have a mask if you enter into an Elections Canada office. Um, Bring a drink and a snack. It might be a long day, up to you and what you want to do with that. Bring your charged phone in an optional charging block. If you're running, you're probably driving, my assumption is. So to have a charger in your car so you can charge your phone is a great idea, especially if you don't have a reliable battery life. Because you are going to be using Dandelion, which you are going to be accessing on your phone. Have your kit in hand if you have it already. This is a very important form in here for you to access the Elections Canada polling location. All right, so you're starting your shift, you're going to your zone house to get your kit and get directions on your polling location. If you are walking from your home to those places, so let's say we've decided that you're a runner and you're going to be staying in your home space and you won't be able to get to your zone house, make sure that you have your kit picked up beforehand, from the campaign office on Pasqua. If you need to make arrangements for that, please connect with us beforehand so that we can get it to you, or that you can come get it before election day. So if you're walking from your home, you've already have your kit in hand. You're going to text your zone captain to get your polling location information, so that they know that you're on your way. Uh, and you will sorry, hold on. You will have to pick up your kit with credentials in advance, which I told you that before. All right, runners, at the polling station, in your kit, you're going to have a piece of paper that says that you can work on our behalf. It's that fancy one with all the letters and the signature on it. Sorry, all the words and the signature on it. You're going to present that to the person at the polling station. Remember that you're wearing neutral colors. You're not campaigning in there. If you had a TRIA badge on, please take that off. Um, and so at your first polling station, that's when you're going to hand over that form. You're going to sign a declaration and they're going to hand you over a badge, which you're going to put on. And you're going to keep that for the whole day, because that's going to allow you to get into any polling location on that day, which is awesome because you're probably going to be skipping from one to the next. All right, so once you have your badge in hand, you're gonna say, I'm going to be picking up my sequence number sheets for all the polls. So that returning officer, you'll probably see, depending on how many polls there are in that building. So there's going to be anywhere between 1 to 5 in the building. And so you're gonna see them go to each one, grabbing those sheets for you, and then returning them to you. Perfect. That's the hardest part, I think. Um, I would probably look at the sheets really quickly just to make sure that I understand what numbers they are, because sometimes people are writing and you're like, is that a 5 or is that a 6? I'm not too sure. So maybe just double check with them if you feel comfortable doing so. Because you are going to be inputting this data, you want to feel as confident as you can to do it correctly. Okay, so you have those sheets in hand. You're going to step outside the building. You are not going to do this inside the building. And you're going to take it to your car or maybe sit on a bench, but preferably within a vehicle, because then you can just have a quiet space just to sit there and input that information. So before you go, you're going to know which polling numbers or you're going to see the polling numbers on that sequence sheet. Um, so I'll just skip down here. So this is kind of what it looks like. Actually, it's exactly what it looks like. So on the left side, you're going to see PD number, which really just means poll number. And then you're also going to see sequence number. Um, Everyone in the riding has a sequence number. I live in Regina Louvain. I have a sequence number. I personally have not looked up what my sequence number is. I can in some weird way, but I have looked up my coworker's sequence number, which is what we're going to use for our demonstration today. Um, so they'll never tell you like Sally Joe voted today. They're just going to give you a sequence number, and that information corresponds with what we have in our Populous program. So I'm going through a demonstration with you in just a moment, but let's just go back here. Okay, just to take note that we do have inside scrutineers at some polling locations. Hopefully your zone captain has told you that so and so is sitting at the polling location. You're going to have to grab them from them because they've already collected it for you. So that you don't have to do that thing where you ask them to collect the sequence sheets from all the polling stations. So that might be a scenario where you already have them collected and someone's sitting there, your NDP colleague, and you can go and ask them for it. They will have a badge just like you, and it says NDP. It's going to be black and white. It's not going to be standing out. So if you don't know them, you might have to search, but you'll find them. It says NDP. They'll be sitting there probably just chilling out with some sheets. So you go over there, say, hey, I'm here to pick up the sheets from you, and then you take them and you go on your merry way outside the building to input that data. So here's some general guidelines that you're going to need to know for the day is that we are allowed to pick up those sheets every 60 minutes. However, it never works that way because Elections Canada workers will be busy. We don't want to impede the vote. So if it's really busy, you need to get in line and wait your turn to get those sheets just with everyone else. And so that's why it really comes in handy if an inside scrutineer can already do that for you and gather those sheets when they find a lull in the day. So here's a rough schedule on what we're trying to look for. The morning's going to be slower, so we're picking them up every couple hours. 9 a.m., 11, 1, 3, 5, 6, and we might stick a 7 in there, so be prepared if you're doing a late shift. Again, these might not be perfect because if you're picking up at, let's say, 3 or 4 locations, you pick up at 11 o'clock, you pick up at 11:10, you pick up at 11:30, those patterns are going to fall off. And so just be prepared that it's going to be a little wonky, but we're going to consistently pick those up, and we're allowed to every 60 minutes. So maybe it's best just to mark when it was last time that you came in. Your the elections people will also take note of when you came in to collect those sheets because they know that they're allowed to give it to you every 60 minutes. Ooh, yes. I keep referring things to bingo sheets, and I'm sorry for doing that because you're likely not going to see bingo sheets. What you're going to be seeing is sequence number sheets. So if I say bingo sheet, I really mean sequence number sheet. So just keep that in mind as I keep going along here. I'm seeing some slang in here that if you're new to the game, you probably wouldn't understand. So sorry if I confuse you. The last thing I want you to do when you've done your syncing in Dandelion is that you're going to text your zone captain and say like something very simple saying inputted data for polls A, B, and C, or 81, 82, and 83. Done. That's how it is. So that they can check it off on their list, and that people at Central can know what information they're working with. So you guys are very pivotal in showing us who's voted and how we redirect our energy to get the vote out. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick demonstration with Dandelion. It's the same login credentials as an outside scrutineer. 2 things I want you to remember is to sync regularly And if you're only picking up these sheets, on intervals, you're really just syncing like as soon as you've entered in that information, and that you're never hitting the back button on your browser, um, unless you've absolutely certain that you've synced everything. So once you hit back, you're just kicked out, and all that information is lost, and you have to redo it again. Okay, let's show you what it looks like. I have timed out, so I have to log back in here. Okay, so I should probably go up here. Let's go more, log out. Yes, log out. Okay, so this is what you're going to see when you log in. You're going to dandelion.run, dandelion.run, and you're going to press enter. And this is on your phone browser. It is not an app, it is on your browser. And you're going to type in Fed NDP, which stands for Federal NDP, FED NDP. And then you're going to click Join an Existing Dandelion. From there, you have your login information, which you have received through your email. If you did not receive it, please contact us before the day or talk to your zone captain on the day. So I've already input my information. It's already in there. My name is Sawyer Swan, so my username is sswan-fed. Yours is going to be very similar. So we're going to log in. Keep in mind when you're doing this, you've collected those sheets and you're stepping outside of the polling location. We never do this inside. We're always taking it outside, and preferably if you have a vehicle, you're sitting in there doing it in your vehicle. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You have your sync button on the left side here, which you're going to get friendly with. The other part is your more, and that's where you're living throughout the day as a runner, and we're going to click that. Okay, so with more, you're going to scroll down and you're going to go to GeoTV sequence energy entry. It's been a long day. Sorry. Okay, so in our scenario here, you're inputting information for that one polling location. And so in this scenario, we are putting information for 141. Poll 141. Now 141 is actually kind of unique, is that there's only one poll within the Days Inn Regina Airport West polling location. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually you have 5, 4, or 3, sometimes 2, but to have 1 is quite unique. But just because it's COVID times, they've really spread them out. So poll 141, you've gone into your Days Inn Regina Airport West polling station. You've grabbed your one sequence number sheet because there's only one poll in there, which is 141, and you're taking it outside. You've logged into Dandelion, and you're going to see a huge list because we have a lot of polls. We have 156. 141, we got to scroll down. We got to keep scrolling. We'll get there eventually. Okay, 141. So GeoTV 141. We're going to click on that one. And it might take a moment to load. On the day, be patient. There's going to be a lot of people working on this. I know for a fact that Central is going to try to put some more oomph on the back end so that it's faster for the day. But be mindful that it might be slow. So take your time. Make sure you have a cup of coffee. Make sure you're just like chilling out. All right, so we already have some information inputted from our advanced polls in here, which is lovely. From what I understand, grayed out means it's an ineligible voter. Something happened. They may have passed away. Some other reason is the reason why that sequence number is just gone since they inputted this information. Elections Canada did. So don't worry about that. All I want you to worry about is inputting data. So in poll 141, let's say we only have one person who voted. And in this scenario, all I have is 120. So coming back to the sheet, so on the left side, that's where the Elections Canada officer is going to put the poll number. So for Days Inn Regina Airport, you're only going to see 141s all down that list. The next one is your sequence number. So like I said, every voter has their own sequence number. So you're going to see a bunch of different numbers. And so poll 141, the sequence number person voted. In other polling locations, you might see like poll 81, 82, 83 in there. So you're going to see 81, 83, 82, 81, 80, and you're just going to keep going down the list. And it's going to look kind of funny. So in that scenario, what I would do is I would just say I have a poll that has 81, 82, and 83 in it, and they're just writing it down as people come in. And so they're going to have 83, they're going to have 82, they're going to have 83 again, they're going to have 81. I would just go down and check off all of your 83s, then all of your 82s, then all of your 81s, until you have all that information inputted into Dandelion. Feel free to check off stuff on that list. That's totally fine if you feel confident in that. I would encourage that because it makes it more orderly and easier to do. Just remember to sync, because once you check off that list, it's kind of hard to say, like, did I input that information because I accidentally pressed the back button. Just so syncing regularly. Okay, where was I? Okay, so in this scenario, we have one person in 141 vote, and that is my friend Mason. We looked up his sequence number today, which is really kind of cool, fun to do. And you'll see it's broken down by hundreds. So in this sheet, it's poll 141, it's 1 through 100, and then you can save here, and you can keep going, go through, and then you can save again, and so on and so forth. Remember to pressing sync as you go. So Mason is 120. He is right here. I'm going to click that, and it's going to turn green. He's voted. Awesome. So I've inputted all my data. I'm going to go back up here. Oh, save, one unsaved. Yes, I'm going to press that. It's just to be safe, because I'm actually not 100% sure. I think it's best for you to click on this sync button, because that was beaten to my head really early on, and I think it's just best for all of us to be safe. So that information's in there. It's great. He is voted. I'm going to show you what the outside scrutineers, so the people who are door knocking, what they see on their end because of your efforts. So back to poll list. Real quick. Back to main page. So you don't have to worry about this part at all. This is just me showing you how cool it is. Back to canvas list. Okay, so in here, Mason. See how instant that is? So if the person on the other end who is door knocking, if they hit that sync button after you've inputted that information and synced it, it shows they voted, so they don't even have to door knock that. In the previous years, we would have to take a good probably hour before anyone knew who voted. Now it's instant, which means we can reach more people, and I just love that. So anyways, so the thing is here is that it has a line through him, means he's voted. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into the GeoGB sequence number entry, back into 141. I don't think there's anything else to cover here, so I'll probably leave it at that, but that's what we did. It was you come back here, you see that they voted, and you can't do anything with that because, well, that's what you did. You will be coming back in regular intervals and keeping putting information onto these lists of who's voted for those outside scrutineers to do their job as best they can. All right, so you can hit back and then you can go to another one. If you have a polling location with multiple polls, that's where you want to be like, okay, I have 117 in here, so I'm going to mark those ones off. But in this scenario, we only have the one, so we're done with that. Again, I do recommend using a pen to strike through the ones that you've done as you go along, syncing regularly. If you don't have data, please, please, please tell us beforehand so that we can figure out a plan for you. If that means you're staying near the zone house so you can get data from the zone house, or if we're putting you like maybe near like a public Wi-Fi, something like that. Those are the things that we need to know. Otherwise, we're going to reassign you all together because this is a very pivotal part of the work. Okay, so let's say you did a 4-hour shift, you did 2 rounds. This is the end of the shift, right? So you're done. You've inputted that information. You have your bubble sheets at hand that you've already inputted that data. You need to come back to your zone house and give that information to your zone captain. If it's late at night, it might be after the polls close. Your zone captain may have had to do a count. At that point, you need to just put it into the bin that's being provided out there. It should be clearly marked where to put that information. Your zone captain will pick that up later. If you're able to debrief with them, that's wonderful. Yeah, and that's it. You may also be doing a count, so make sure that you're watching the count video after this. Last but not least, if you have questions up to election day, email the campaign or text or call the campaign so we can address any issues before the day. On election day, you're reaching out to your zone captain. Remember that list is live, and it might change, so check that list on Sunday to double check on who your zone captain is. All right, thank you guys so much. Please check out the count video if you have decided to help us out with the count.